So we're going to give a little talk to prepare us for the dance party that's going to follow. Right? So conserve your energy and get ready to rock. Right? You hear the beat going? It's building up. Right? The beat's building. It's going to build and it's going to build and it's going to build. And then we're going to dance and sing. But why are we going to dance and sing, and with what mood? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. For those who are here, I believe it was Saturday morning, we had a talk here in the tent in the morning about different ways to be happier in life, different mindsets, meditations, practices, mantras. And so we talked a lot about that. And then last night, we started to touch upon the other side of the coin, which is suffering. And there's a beautiful song we sang, again by Radhika Devi Dasi, very beautifully sung. 8 verses glorifying the Guru and the qualities of the Guru, what it really means in our path. They're very beautiful meditations. So I want to talk just for a few minutes about the principle of Sri Guru, what it means, and how we can develop gratitude for those who have taught us, for those who have helped us. In life, the first gurus are who? Who are the first gurus in life? Mama and Papa. Who said it? Someone say it, or just me? Yogamaya. Very good. Round of applause to Yogamaya. To all the mothers and fathers. Right? I know a lot of mothers and fathers, and I give my heartfelt gratitude to them. In our scriptures, there's a verse that says, a real mother and a father is someone who can liberate their children from suffering, who can bring them up, give them a good life, and free them from the bondage of suffering. So the first class we had, we were talking a lot about happiness and real methods to be happier and to achieve bliss in different states of bliss, and different levels of bliss, lower, higher, highest. But we can't avoid the problem of suffering also. Like I said yesterday, it's you may be on a basketball team and only play offense, and everyone's like, I just play offense. No one plays defense, you're going to lose. Even if you're the best shooter, the best passer, you're still going to lose if no one plays defense. So being happy, finding out how to be happy, that's good offense. But defense means how to beat suffering. Beat it back. So the first 2 words of this song we sing are Samsara Dhavanala. Acknowledging the problem of existence. Acknowledging the problem of suffering. Described to be like a forest fire. Described to be like a forest fire. For those who are interested in this subject in detail, we're going to have a 2-hour discussion, conversation, back and forth, talking about different wisdom traditions and how they understand suffering in life and different methods for going beyond it, or for coping, or for transcending. But for now, we'll just accept the fact that at some point in life, we'll all experience some kind of pain and suffering. Everyone raise their hand if they acknowledge that some kind of suffering will be experienced in life. All right, we have a quorum.
We agree.
Parliament, motion passed. Everyone has to suffer. Do we? In the Bhagavad Gita, one of our most important scriptures, if not the cornerstone of the essence of all Vedic philosophy, teaches 5 eternal truths. 5 eternal truths. The soul is eternal. God is eternal. The principle of time is eternal. Nature, the world, the universe, the material nature, the principle of the material cosmos which is always in flux, appearing and disappearing, and yet it is eternal. And the last, who knows? Karma, the principle of action and reaction, responsibility for your action. Why? Because you as a soul, or as a self, as an awareness, as consciousness, you cannot separate yourself from free will. Free will is the greatest gift. Although we live mostly in a deterministic way, because we're just reacting and following a set of our previous experience and conditioning, we can break the wheel of samsara, we can transcend the wheel of samsara. In other words, we can transcend or evolve beyond our karma. So of the 5 eternal truths, although the principle of karma is eternal, we can transcend beyond it. So Guru is the one who helps us transcend samsara, transcend the wheel of karma. That is Guru. Therefore, Guru is described to be the bearer of light. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. The bearer of light, bringing us forward from darkness, from suffering. So samsara dhavanala means we acknowledge that at some point in life we must inevitably experience pain and suffering, difficulty, catastrophe of many kinds, loss, betrayal, emotional hurt, physical pain, so many kinds. Yet, the Guru is one who delivers us from that wheel of samsara. Samsara dhavanala. There are those who put out the forest fire of suffering. Samsara dhavanala. It's a beautiful meditation, right? If you were to poll people, I was thinking about this today. Who is a person that pretty much everyone agrees that, like, everyone loves this kind of person? Like, if you look at occupations.
Tom Hanks.
That's a specific...
Vasanta Prabhu.
I'm getting there. An occupation, not a specific person, a principle. Firefighters. Everyone loves firefighters. Why?
Doctors.
Doctors sometimes. Oh, dentists. Everyone love a dentist?
Heroes.
Yeah, but their heroes can be good or bad, depending on your opinion. Which team.
Fireman, they're heroes.
Firefighters are heroes. But the idea is that they're saving you from suffering, burning. And those you love also, even more importantly. So that is Guru. Guru is not a light thing, therefore. Guru means heavy. Literally, the word Guru means that which is heavy or has a lot of gravity. Sankarshan, it also means that which has a lot of attraction. Now, this is only one side of it, dealing with the problem of suffering. But actually, the mantras we chant to the Guru 3 times a day describes the nature of Guru as he who gives bliss. What we talked about, Ananda. For those who were there, we did a 2-hour talk on the principle of Ananda or bliss. So in the mantras we chant to Guru, we don't chant to he who destroys suffering, because that's a negative. This kind of blows people's minds sometimes, but there's something called post-liberation ecstatic experience in eternal form. True identity, full actualization of the self. So, Guru is he who gives bliss. But bliss to whom? Anandaya. The giver of bliss. To who? To Radha and Krishna. We also talked about this yesterday. People say, who is God? Anybody? Who is God? Some people say God is nature. Traditionally we say, God the Father. Oh Father, hallowed be thy name. God the Father. What is the definition of a father? Someone define it for me. What is a father? There's many things, but essentially, what's one thing that you cannot have without and still be a father? Father implies children. And to have children, what else do you need?
Effort.
Mother.
Mother. That's an
Spoken as a true father.
an else.
Effort is the mother.
No. Effort is not the mother. Mother is the mother.
Love and effort.
There's the mother back there. Let's give a round of applause for Lita. And all the rest of the mothers out there. So when we say God the Father, what about the mother? Right? So who we worship. Actually, Radha Krishna, they're called the divine couple. We don't worship them as the father and the mother. That relationship, if we look at Vedic thought, like anyone heard of Shiva and Parvati? Shiva and Parvati are like the father and mother of this universe in one way. They give birth to all beings. Lakshmi Narayan, God and the goddess, Sita and Ram. You could say Sita is like a mother. But Radha and Krishna is beyond the supreme goddess, the supreme God, the divine couple, the eternal beloveds. But still, the principle is there that God is not alone. God alone means no God, no form, no identity, no attributes, no relationship. So Guru is one who gives pleasure to the divine couple in whatever lineage they're in. So if you have a father and a mother, what else must you have? If you're not a father, if you're a husband and wife, that's one thing. If you're a father and mother, it means you don't become a father until when?
Children.
You have children. Right? And they say you don't really become an adult in one way
It's true.
until you have children.
And
You can have children of different kinds.
And also, you don't know the meaning of the word tired if you don't have
You don't know the meaning. Yes. What it means to. So Guru is a type of father and a mother. It's true. But who is the original father and the mother? So this is an important point about the principle of Guru also. Guru never identifies as God. Guru never identifies as God. They are servants of God. In our spiritual tradition. So there's a verse though, it's the 7th verse of this song we sing. Shakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Sastre. All the scriptures teach us that the spiritual guide is as good as God because they do that function that is so dear to the father and the mother, reuniting them in their relationship with their children. Imagine you're a father and a mother and your children turned away and left and have been absent and separate from you from God knows how long. We don't know how long, God knows. Long time. And so the teacher is someone who goes and brings you back. Brings you back into your relationship. Father, mother, children. Right? People say, no, but God is one. How can there be a father and a mother? Yes. Father and mother are two halves, one whole. Right? We say, the better half. Who's the better half? Anyone? It's okay, you can say. I won't be upset. The better half is who?
the mother.
The mother. Right? The man and his better half. So, Guru is one who gives bliss by reuniting, by bringing together. This is called yoga. Union. Bringing together. So different paths, they say, no, actually, we're all one, we're all the same. We're all family. In that sense, we're all one. The whole world, all children, all people, we're all one people, one world, one family. That is fact. Why? We're all eternal beings. We all have consciousness. We're all blissful or bliss-seeking. Ananda. Satchit Ananda. We share that same quality with every living entity. Therefore, because we have very similar nature, we can be described to be like family. And as you develop and become more enlightened, you develop a sense of unity with all beings. That does not mean you lose your individuality, because without that you can't experience. We said this yesterday. You want to be blissful, sugar cannot taste itself. Okay, wrap your head around that for a second. Right? Imagine you're eating something. Anyone eaten anything from the cafe? Especially something sweet. Right? Who was the person tasting the sweetness? Was it the sweetness itself? So Ananda, the principle of bliss, means in relationship. In connection. Togetherness, it becomes a unity, but it's still two. Together as one. And so it's described in the Vedas that this world is like a reflection of the transcendent realm, beyond samsara, beyond our conception of good and evil in heaven and hell. There's a transcendent realm. So therefore, another definition of guru is the bridge between the material and the spiritual realms, between matter and spirit. And because we are spiritual beings at essence, what do we mean by spiritual beings? It's important to know what we're talking about, not just to use words. So by saying spiritual beings, we are conscious energy and awareness. And there's two kinds of energy. There's the material energy, which is that which makes up this microphone and this body, for that matter. And there's what animates it. So therefore, we're very similar to animals as well. Anima means the life force, the principle of that which is alive. Without consciousness and animation, we're not alive. When we die, we're no longer conscious because the body is just dead. So the body becomes inanimate. What animates it is the self, the consciousness, the awareness, and it's an energy because it's active. So it's not just consciousness, it's active. When it becomes inactive, it's dead. So what are we becoming here? We're trying to become not static, ecstatic. Who said that? Yoga again.
Golden stories.
Not static, ecstatic dance. Right? Let's show the divine couple that we're alive tonight. Okay? Let's show them that we're alive. There's a beautiful thing, another idea of the guru. Just giving you a different, touching on different points, because it's a very long discussion point. But I'm just giving you a little point. What is another idea of the guru? He who is the bridge between, or she who is the bridge between matter and spirit. Right? The bridge. Because you're of a higher nature than the earthy things, the material substance, the elements themselves, in combination forming the body that you embody and drive. The body is your vehicle. So who's more important, the vehicle or the driver of the vehicle? The vehicle has no meaning without a driver, has no purpose without a driver. Your body's purpose is the active principle, the conscious energy within it. Therefore, you're of a higher nature. This is what's described in the Gita. For brevity's sake, I'm not going to get into all the details of all the elemental structures of the universe, because we'd be sitting here for 24 hours. But for now, right, your nature is higher than what's called the material elemental nature. Therefore, Guru is the bridge bringing you to your highest nature, because you're of a higher nature, so therefore he's saying develop your higher nature. Param dristva, develop the highest taste, the higher taste. One more definition. Pran ache jar shehetu prachar. Those who have life, they can teach. A lifeless person, a dead person, right? A cadaver, right? What can they teach you? They can teach you that death is inevitable.
It happens.
But they can't teach you how to be alive. So those who have life force. So therefore I want to talk a little bit about that as well. And then let you know that there's many levels of the spiritual guides and teachers. And then I also want to mention one thing. What's the difference between a teacher and someone we can actually call the guide, or even a spiritual master? Because for us, we don't think of the guru just as a teacher. There's someone we offer our heart and soul to. And we accept as someone who can be the bridge, who can take us from matter to spirit, who can unite us with our eternal relationship with God. So there are different levels of gurus. One of the gurus is described to be the conscience of the super soul in the heart that she was speaking of when she was singing, called the super soul, the indwelling witness, guiding you, your moral compass. Not your mind, not your intelligence, not your ego, not your id. None of those things. Mind is the false guru. Intelligence misdirected, servant of the senses, servant of the mind is not your guru. Id, ego, subconscious, all these different things, they're not the guru. But the real conscience, the moral compass between right and wrong, that you know in your heart, that's the self of the self. Who is God? God is the self of the self. So a long discussion about this as well, but it's very interesting. Why it's important to develop relationship with God, because He is the self of the self. And so if you learn to identify and make relationship with the self of the self, you'll always be blissful from within. Because God is of the nature of bliss. And we are of the nature of bliss. And when we develop our relationship in yoga, we become blissful. For example, our belief how to be happy is you have a loving and giving nature. Find someone you love and give them a gift. Like today we went shopping, right? Got gifts for each other. Mostly I received some gifts. But we got gifts for other people too. But when I came, I brought gifts. Why? Because people I love, I brought them gifts and that made me happy.
The gift of your presence.
Oh, there you go.
And your friendship.
That's a kind of gift. The
It
gift of
is.
conversation with someone you love. So the question came that if you're only thinking, I'll be happy by giving to others, it's still self-interest. I'll be happy because I gave this person a gift. I'll be happy because I did this for someone I love. So who are you doing it for? You're doing it for yourself. No problem. But if you develop your relationship with the self of the self, or God, that Paramatma, that super soul, He is bliss personified. Your cup will always be overflowing with bliss. Then you can naturally give of your bounty to others. Like a spring. We've been speaking about that. You want to empty your cup of everything and just be void? Nature doesn't like a vacuum. It'll fill back up with suffering. Or material thoughts and ideas. So what we say is, pour, like imagine, okay, you have a cup here. Alright? See the cup? Empty, no water. Is it empty? No. What's in it? Air? So we can say our body is like a cup and it's filled with all of our ideas and our conceptions and our ego and our blood and our bile and all gross things too. Not gross, material things. So if we want to just empty it out and be nothing, void, get rid of all suffering, but what's the positive attainment beyond suffering? Someone who's suffering, they say, get me out of suffering, get me out of suffering. Someone who's happy, you tell them, get out of suffering. They're like, no, I'm happy, I'm in life, I'm blissful, a family, our friends, I'm enjoying. Yes, so what's our message for everyone? What is positive experience beyond suffering? So therefore we say, don't just empty the cup of everything and be void. False ego is there, but pure self is there. But really, how can you always be happy? God is the honey. Pour it in your cup. Let it overflow. Develop that relationship within. You'll always be blissful within. Then when you give to others, you can give infinitely. Really giving. They say, what does it mean to give someone a gift? Not, I'll give them this, I give them this gift and it's worth this much and my relationship is worth this much, so I'll give them this much. Transactional. No, I love someone. How can you put a value on love? A metric value. So we say we do all our sadhanas, all our practices. It's important, but spiritual life isn't a metric-based system. Do this much, do this many asanas, this much yoga, this much chanting, this much this much that, this much archery, ritual. Without love, without spirit, has no value. So when your cup is always overflowing from the love that pours from within, you can give and give. We know people who do that. Right? Their whole life. My teacher in India, I lived there for 16 years. Since I was a boy, my guru came when I was 9 to our little town in California where we had a school, a gurukul, and he kind of swooped me up, full of all my garbage and nonsense. And he brought me to the land of love, Vrindavan, India. And he wanted me to live there, and so when I finished school, I lived there for 16 years. And I lived there with one of my teachers, and I witnessed for 16 years the power of pure love, bliss, and giving without expectation. Genuinely, I can say that. I can say that with my hand on my heart as truth, because I saw it and I experienced it. And what we experience in a material way isn't very profound, but when you experience something on a spiritual level, it's very profound. Especially if you live with someone very closely for a long time. So I lived there as an assistant for 16 years. And I can say completely honestly that the power of real love and blissfulness and giving, it has to come from a relationship within. Because you cannot keep that up forever if you're only thinking in a transactional term. It's not possible. Especially what you see like in Vrindavan, our ashram there. My teacher there, he serves himself cooking twice a day for a few thousand people. Big pots like we do here, but every day for the last, God knows. He's been in the temple monastery for like 40 years.
40 years.
And when we do pilgrimages in different areas like Bengal, very poor people come, we feed 20,000, 25,000 people. Our pots, like 3 of the pots would fill this room. Right? Really? You can't put more than 3 of the pots in this room, and actually it wouldn't be enough space to stir.
You have to go inside of them to wash
cook
them.
a human being.
Yes.
Hey,
If you want to wash them, you go
we
inside.
cook a lot of
the pot.
potatoes and pumpkins, and cabbages, and good things that like to be cooked. Thank you, Radhika. You have one big pot, it's like a third of this room, and they have 8 men to stir the pot.
8 brown men.
Yes, thank you for saying that. I would help sometimes, and some other boys. I'm aspiring to be brown.
Good for you.
Anyway, that's not the point. I would say the oars. The spatulas are like oars, right? Really big and long and heavy. And the pot is like so deep with the preparation that you have to push it all the way in with like 3-4 men and then hang on it to lift it up. They hang on it and it lifts up. And we cook rice for 20,000 people. How much rice do you have to cook? They have to prepare a special kitchen to support the weight and the heat, the gravity of that. So they have to pour and prepare a special area for it. And how much do you get paid for that service? Volunteer work, we have hundreds of volunteers. We have so many volunteers here, it's beautiful. The power of loving service. But I've witnessed this for myself 16 years, but actually I was going since I was 9, so you can add, I don't know, another 10 years to it or so. Another 9 years to it. So for 25 years I've witnessed that kind of loving service from monks. Like I'm a lifelong monk. My guru asked me to be a monk at 10. So it's like I've worked my whole life, but I've never been paid in return. I've never had a job. But I've worked my whole life hard. We work hard. This boy, he works very hard. We have an ashram in New York, 60-acre ashram. How much do you get paid?
A lot.
Right? What did Christ say? He said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God what is God's. So we get paid by God. But we're not asking for anything. That what we are seeking, which is what is given by the Guru, is that internal relationship where you can be happy anywhere at any time, and you will be. And beyond this life, you'll always be happy. But we are actually not very interested in like liberation and this and that. Why? If you're happy now, who cares about liberation? Whatever's coming will come. Let it be. I'm happy in my relationship. A healthy, happy person in good relationships, you tell them you want liberation. No.
I'm okay.
Liberation means leaving my family, those I love. I don't want liberation. Our teacher Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna incarnate 550 years ago, said, I don't want liberation. Nadanam najanam nasundinim kavitam va jagadisha janmani. Mama janmani janmanishwari. Life after life, may I just be with those I love and serve them. Bhavatad bhaktim ahaitu kitvai. May I have causeless devotion to your lotus feet and be in relationship with you and be with those who love you. That is my bliss. So then you can always give without expecting return. That is also the principle of Guru. What does a father and a mother get in return for spending so much of their energy raising their children? If they're thinking of it in an exchange, transactional way, they'll end up being, hey, work so hard, what's in it for me? Nothing. Everything.
It's not a
Everything.
good business model.
Right? Right? Yeah. It's the business of love. Really love, what does it mean to really love? So that's also the principle of Guru. There are 5 kinds of Guru. Anyone who brings you closer to God is a kind of Guru. Anyone brings you closer to a spiritual path that uplifts you, that's a kind of Guru. Right? In our line, then that's the second kind. Someone who brings you closer to God. Someone who brings you further on the path. Someone who helps you find your way. Right? Should we show gratitude to that person who helped us find our way when we were lost in the dark? Yes. Do they have to be Jesus Christ to do that? Can only Jesus Christ help us? Yes. But how does he help us? Through his disciples, through his followers. So anyone who is helping us, someone who you're lost in the woods in a dark night and someone shows you a light and brings you back to the path, brings you out of darkness. They may be a sinner, but they're a saint. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Anyone? Right? They may be a sinner, but they're a saint to us because they helped us when we were in need. They may have their own problems in life. They may have their own addictions. They may have their own struggles. They may have their own problems. But if they're really helping us with genuine care and love, then we offer them our pranam. Thank you. Our gratitude. Thank you. From our heart. In our line, then, there's the third kind of Guru is described to give the mantra initiation, which is like a spiritual rite of passage to become very fixed in a spiritual path by which you can actually achieve a goal in life. Because otherwise we're all just wandering around, passing our time. You want direction? Like, for example, you may say, I'm in Harvard. Okay, so show me your papers and show me your course of study and show how much credits you've got. No. I like this one professor in Harvard. Did you accept admission into the school and get accepted and follow the course of study and get credits or not? No. I'm just a bystander. There's one student and one disciple in our lore called Ekalavya. He accepted the Guru, but the Guru didn't accept the disciple. He didn't even meet the Guru. He was just living in the woods and made his little murti, his little deity, and was praying to him and worshipping under him. But he was independent and he was opposed. He wanted to, it's a long story, but he wanted to kill God and his devotee, his most loved one. So the Guru never accepted him. So unless you get admittance into the school, you're not enrolled. This is a hard stage, very hard. It's easier if you find someone who's truly exemplary, that you can truly surrender to, who truly loves and cares. But also, one point to make is that we're all in what's called sampradayas, especially in our line of thought. A sampradaya means a school, a lineage. And so, for example, going back to the Harvard example, or Yale, or Cambridge, or what's the university in Lithuania? Vilnius. All right, so whatever university it is.
Not complicated.
Good.
Because it's Lithuania.
Do you join the school or do you join the professor's arrangement? It's the professors in the school. Who designed the school? Who created the school? Who created the curriculum and the syllabus? Who founded the school? Who is the idea behind the school? That is the importance of a school, a sampradaya. So when you surrender to the specific Guru, it's a very important relationship. It's much more than a teacher in a school. But yet he's still bringing you into a tradition descending from perfected masters. The difference between a teacher and a guru is that a teacher, you go to school, you do your classes, you go back to your life. A really good teacher is someone who really cares about you, will be like a mentor. How's your day? How's your studies? If they have problems, they'll ask about you. They may even ask your parents. Really, really care about you. But even then, say you graduate from school, you go from kindergarten to primary, primary to high school to college, college to university. Are you in touch? Anyone here in touch with their kindergarten teacher? I actually am. Very, very sweet lady. Actually, one of my earliest teachers lives in our ashram. Right? I have another monk who was living there. We both went to India. He was 6, I was 9. I joined earlier, but his mother lives in our ashram. And our guru, he would call her Guru Ma, Guru Mother. And so he would say, offer pranam to Guru Ma. And she lives there. She's been practicing this path for over 50 years. Herself pretty much like a monk her whole life, really, if you look at it. But regular teachers, you go beyond them, they have many other students. But a guru is someone who takes care of your entire well-being, like a parent. So a teacher is somewhat like a father or mother, but a guru is really a father and a mother. The mantra-giving guru. What are they doing? They're taking full responsibility for your success. Isn't that a beautiful thing? A real mother, father, saying, I am taking that commitment that I am responsible as much as I can be for your success. You have to take some action yourself as well. But I will care for you, I will love you, I will be with you through thick and thin. So therefore, how much gratitude we should have for that person. It's not easy. It's actually more difficult than being a regular mother and father. Because regular mother and father were connected by blood. And so there's a natural kind of physical connection. But a spiritual connection, it's much more profound, but it's also very difficult. Because usually, it's another point about gurus. Who comes to approach a guru and take shelter and take a mantra? Someone who's really suffering. That's what's described in the Vedas. Tasmad gurum prapaddeta. When do you approach the guru? When the fit hits the shan. Right? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Right? So you have to deal with those problems. Problem solvers. That's one kind of guru, right? Nowadays, pundits, computer guru. Why do you go to the computer guru? When the fit hits the shan. Proverbially speaking. The RAM, the motherboard, right? Something goes wrong, I need a help. So how much, when you see like troubled childs, right? When things are tough, not always, but generally speaking, it's when you recognize the fact that you cannot solve all your problems yourself, you go to the guru. Computer guru, this guru, that guru, doctor guru, right? Please help me. And so they take full responsibility for your success in life. So there's a lot of, this is one thing I wanted to mention here, which was really kind of the essence of what I wanted to convey. How beautiful that person is who can really love and care for us, truly guide us and help us, but genuinely. There's another important point about Guru. Guru is not a position or a title or something that is given. Now you are Guru. There can be an order, an invocation, you should be Guru. But you cannot tell someone you are Guru. Because if you don't have that real love and care and kindness and mood of actually, like for example, unless you have that heart full of joy and love within, then your giving is going to be transactional. And then the chance of corruption increases multifold. So then the Guru business starts. So I'll give a mantra, you give me this payment. I'll give some spiritual wisdom, you give me this payment. Or you become my follower and worship me. If you're not Atmaram, self-satisfied in your relationship inside, if your cup is not overflowing with joy, how can you really truly love and care for others? Therefore, It's not a position or a title like, oh, now you're a teacher in this school. Then how can you be Guru? Guru is someone who really loves. What is real love? To really love and care for people doesn't mean they don't, you don't make them grow and expect them to advance, but you really genuinely love and care. Therefore, we should give great honor to that. And we should understand the value of that in our life. Oftentimes, we don't value what we have until when? When we lose it.
Still lost, yeah.
Right? But the beauty of Guru is that we cannot lose, we can only run away. Guru is always there. Why? It's a spiritual force, transcending time and space. Expanding. Guru means to expand through love. So we should have great gratitude for all those who have helped us in our life. Right? Anyone who's helped us when we're lost in the dark. Anyone who's helped bring us to a better path. And those who are taking care of us completely. And what do they want? What is the qualification? They genuinely want our success. Your responsibility of a disciple is a completely different discussion. Right? The responsibility of the disciple, we can talk about that. But that's not the subject of the talk. The Guru is someone who really, genuinely only wants, our Gurudev who would say, I have love and affection for all my sons and daughters. I'm not attached, because if I'm attached, that means I want something from you. I need something from you. What does Guru need? Guru can sit in the woods and be blissful at every moment, because they are. But why do they need a temple? Why do they need an ashram? For you. They take that responsibility, therefore, does my Gurudev Namaha. Show honor and respect. Because if you don't, what happens when you're ungrateful? You end up neglect, indifference, going away. Apagata radha iti radha. Going away from love means going away from radha. Aparad. Aparad doesn't start at aparad. Aparad doesn't start, it's an aparad. Aparad means going away from love, and it generally means like an offense. Like to really, basically there's 6 kinds of aparad. To show malice, hatred, to attack violently or verbally, to abuse someone who really cares and loves for you, to not feel happy and grateful. That's aparad. But it starts with little things, right? Well, how does an avalanche start? Tremors, snowballs, right?
Sometimes even sound.
Sound. So anyhow, it's a lot to talk about, but I want us to all meditate on this gratitude today. I am myself very grateful for Vasanta Prabhu here. He's a very good spiritual father and friend, and we have our Srila Gurudev here and Srila Prabhupada. They are real spiritual fathers of our mission. But we're not an impersonal path. We're not an impersonal path. So how do we connect to our teachers? Through our teachers, we connect to our teachers, their teachers, right? And mantra is like a seed. Guru gives a mantra. Mantra is like a seed. Did Guru create the seed? No, he's passing on the seed, planting the seed. But in our case, he's also awakening the dormant seed, which is the tendency to serve and to love and to develop relationship with God. For us, our mood is our spiritual fathers are liberated souls, eternal associates of Radha Krishna, eternally in love. How can we go to Radha Krishna? They're very far away. They're very close. Why are they close? Like we have our deities here, the presence, like we said yesterday, God isn't just formless, because that's limiting him. God is formless and has form. Right? Why are you limiting God to the formlessness of everything? The universe itself is a form. Everything we see in the universe has form. God also accepts that in order to develop relation with us, while also being everything. But is the temple important or are the people in the temple important? The form of the Lord comes and is attracted by the love of the devotees, of the people in the temple. That's where the form of the Lord comes from. So how beautiful and sweet are our deities here. That's the love of all of the devotees of the temple. So they're also one kind of guide and helper, right? And sevak. One more point I want to make. What's the difference between us, the soul, and God? We're both conscious, eternally exist. We're both blissful or meant to be blissful. In our case, trying to be blissful. God is always blissful. We are finite, He is infinite. He is the creator, we are the created. We are the part, He is the whole. So that's the same for all gurus and all teachers. We're all equally lovers of God. So in that sense, guru and disciple are as if equal on the spiritual level. Because we're all souls.
In essence, yes.
Right? We're all Sat Chit Ananda, eternally existing, conscious, blissful, of nature. And so we're all equally servants and lovers of God. If we forget that, then this is when Guru falls down. I am God. Serve me. Guru is the bridge, not the destination. Right? Why do you go on a bridge? To get across. You want to sit in the middle of the bridge, you're going to get run over. Right? So we're all equally. That's why real Guru is humble. Humble. Humility is the ornament of a devotee. The ornament of a devotee is their humility. That they truly see the value in each being and want to develop and empower you to your ultimate success, transcending them even. True humility. We're all equal. We're all under guidance. That's what it means to be a lover and a servant of God. How can you reach there directly? Christ said, go to the Father through the Son. No, I'll go to the Father. How? You need the bridge. So that is the teacher, the Guru. So show gratitude. He's doing the work that is like the work of the Lord. Therefore he is godly and he wants you all to become godly as well. Right? Anima, we're like animals, but we're supposed to become godly, devatas. We're supposed to become godly. What does it mean to be godly? Righteous, loving, virtuous, caring, compassionate, kind, serving, joyful. All those blissful qualities. Guru is helping you become like that. Not God, godly. What does it mean to be godly? If you're not God, you're the part, serve the whole. That's the dance of creation. All of the living entities dancing together, joyfully experiencing love and service. Therefore, what is the shirt our friend here is wearing? Love is service, service is love. Love is the active principle here. Not the active, you could say the underlying principle is the love. Service is the manifestation of the love in action. So we are all lovers of God, servants. Servant just means like a mother with her child or with a husband and a wife. In relationship with love, you love to serve each other, give gifts, speak, care for each other. So Guru is teaching us how to do those loving exchanges with God. And that's our relationship as parts of the whole. So we're all equal in that sense. All living entities are equal. We don't see distinction of higher and lower. That's all illusion. As soon as we come out of illusion, we're all equal in the eyes of God. And we are all equal in the eyes of God because God sees from the highest vantage point. God sees your highest potential and we're stuck in this reality. But He doesn't see that. He says, okay, you're like that now, I'll send a Guru. But why? To bring you to your highest potential. And your highest potential is godly. Why? In the divine realm, post-liberation bliss, to be with God, you have to become godly. The deva devam archayet. Sanskrit, it's described. You cannot be with and love and serve God without becoming of a godly nature. But you're still the servant. And you're blissful in your relationship of love. In that realm that we worship Radha Krishna, we're not servants. We're eternally servants. We know that by our nature, but they don't see us like that. Radha Krishna, they're surrounded by their 8 closest friends. None of them they never say, oh, you're my das, dasi. But the internal mood is, I am your servant, your maidservant. That's our highest aspiration. Our highest aspiration is to be the eternal servants of love divine. The divine couple, Shri Radha Krishna, not impersonal, this and that, void, this and that, I'm void, you're void, we're all God. It's all illusion. Most of what you'll hear and read, it's all beautiful words, poetic ideas, nothing concrete. If you ask them to define everything clearly and then define it again until you actually come to reality, it's very difficult because generalizations sell better, right? Generalizations are easier to sell. But real spirituality, there's a lot of things you have to go through, right? In the path of freedom from suffering and bondage and achieving your bliss, it's a long and arduous task. But the beauty of it is, Atma nivedana tua pada kori hoinu paramasuki. When I truly find someone I can give my heart to, that I trust, can offer me up the path, the lineage of our teachers, truly care for me, I become blissful because I know bliss is the destination and therefore bliss is the way. Bliss becomes the way when the destination is bliss. The sadhana, the process becomes the goal and you will be blissful, right? Because you'll be blissful in the knowledge of your relationship and your belonging and the strength. Therefore, Guru is also one who is like a lion, very courageous, a protector, a defender, full of kindness. So, I want to sing a song. We'll sing a song and then we'll all get up and dance, right? But I just wanted to take this opportunity to offer my gratitude to all my teachers and especially to all the devotees here in this beautiful festival, to Vasanta Prabhu, to Nandita, to all the devotees of the ashram. Very, very beautiful people. Very beautiful people. Doing everything to really help and uplift people. That's the real motivation. So I want to sing a song that's to Radharani, and then after that, we'll all dance.
Depending on the time, let me see.
It's still early.
22. Maybe we should take some questions because many people may have questions. It's good.
All right, so we can do questions briefly, but also for anyone interested, tomorrow we'll do it here. We'll have a 2-hour discussion on, we're going to get into the gritty details. The topic of the talk is solving the problem of suffering beyond good and evil. And we're going to get really into the nitty-gritty. All the different kinds of suffering, all the mechanisms to help uplift you, all the examples from different traditions, present and past. So it's going to be kind of an interesting talk, and then we'll also do one here on Wednesday. Any questions? If we get into questions, we'll be really long.
It's Lithuania, so we know that nobody raises their hand, but let's go beyond and realize we already came to the festival. So if you have a question, do yourself a favor, raise your hand.
Let's do this one.
Yeah? Yeah, because it's Lithuania. Nobody's going to raise
Okay.
there we go. Yes, very good.
Winner.
I would like to ask when a person becomes ready to accept a spiritual master, what is the qualification of
when does a fruit ripen? When does a flower bloom?
In summer.
When it's ready. When it's ready. When it's ready. Next question. Tomorrow we can go into detail. When does a fruit ripen? When does a flower bloom?
I think he means, how do you know?
You know when you know.
It just kind of happens.
It just kind of happens.
You're asking the question, therefore you know the answer.
It happens. When your heart is ready. When you're sincere. When you're ready. When most of yourself, you don't need to be so conscious, but most of who you are is honestly and sincerely asking for that opportunity to grow and find joy. And when you're frankly sick of everything you've tried and you realize that It was never meant to be just you doing the job. You'll realize at some point that you need help. So it's like you raise your hand. You know, it's like being like, you know, when do you realize that you need the lifeguard? Like you go swimming and everything is fine, and then, you know, there's a warning, don't go swimming in the waves. And at some point you're drowning. When do you know you're drowning? When you're drowning. And when do you know you need a lifeguard? Well, when you raise your hand and then the lifeguard comes and plucks you up. So that's very sincere, no? When you're drowning, it's like, save me, I'm drowning. Understand? It's simple, simple. Don't get too mental about it. It's not gonna help, you know? Depreciating yourself or thinking that you're not ready. In fact, you know, after how many years of practicing, you realize actually we're never ready and we're never qualified. It's grace. It's grace. It doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you think you are. There's waves that can still take you down. And you might need the lifeguard. So don't think in that way. Just think, I have desire. I am sincerely asking for an opportunity. Raise your hand. Can anyone help me? And then God will see you and He will send, okay, who is adequate for your time, place, circumstance? He'll send that person to you. It's very simple. And all you gotta do is accept grace. In the beginning, you know, like, how do you know that the baby is ready to receive breast milk?
Born.
He's just born, you know? He's ready for breast milk. Yeah, sure.
Desire.
Desire. Desire. Yes. I have desire. I want. The whole cosmic theater is designed for this point in your life. This whole thing has just been designed for that moment when you raise your hand. It's like, I want out of the matrix. Can somebody help me? I say, yeah, sure, you know. We're ready. Yes, yes.
I was just remembering when you asked that question, I was remembering the first moment that I saw my guru. And I was just like a little girl, so I really had no idea what's a pure guru, that I'm looking for a guru, like none of it. I just saw him and it just kind of happened, as Vasanta Prabhu likes to say. And I just went right up to him. I had heard people saying Gurudev, but I didn't really know what it meant. And I just went right up to him and said, will you be my Gurudev? I don't know how it happened. Sincerely, I don't know how it happened. Maybe from many lifetimes of longing or praying or needing it, I don't know. But it happened within 5 minutes of seeing him. And then he just put his hand on my head and said, certainly. And then the rest of my life has just been history since then, like totally, completely beyond me. And so they say that Guru is a condensed form of love, of grace. And we're all on the same quest, you know? We're all on that quest together. We're all searching for the same thing. And so, you know, when the time is time, it just kind of happens. Like Vasanta Prabhu says.
Just one thing, when you accept Guru, buckle your seatbelt, because it can get cosmic, man.
It can get cosmic.
It can get very cosmic. But that's life, you know, so don't hold back. Think within yourself, if you know, and if at night when you close your eyes, you ask yourself the question, why am I here? Why did I come to this life? Did you come to hold back and not be? Or did you come to be and live? So don't hold back.